When you're advising a company on its operational efficiency, what are your first steps? Let me start by defining what we mean by operations. So, we refer to order to cash, meaning the point from which an order is placed by a customer, through to the point at which that order is delivered to the customer and cash is paid for the product. So that's the domain in which we're operating. The first thing we want to do is to understand what it is the company should be delivering to its customer and how well they're actually delivering. We try to understand that through a series of techniques and methods, and I'll give you an overview of those. The first thing is operations is all about serving customers. So we have to start by understanding what it is that the customers want. We want to be sure that we're delivering a service they value, a product that they like, and that's being done every time. 2, right level of quality. So, we start by talking to customers, and those conversations will be quite detailed. They'll be quite specific about the features of the product that the customers value. What is it about the service that's given to them that they like? What is it that they don't like? Not in a sort of very broad general sense, but in quite a detailed way so that we can take those points of view back to our clients and we can use that information to shape the way that they're delivering services and products. The second point is that we then want to understand the work that the company is doing to deliver those services and products. We use a technique called value stream mapping that many people will be familiar with, but it looks at the complete process at all of the activities required to deliver a service or product, linked together so that we can see how the whole organization is working together to deliver those services. We then start to analyze the work in more detail. We're interested in the amount of time that each step takes. We're interested in levels of quality at each stage of the process. We want to know what things go wrong, why they go wrong. We look at all of the work that's done in that process and we ask, is this work valuable to the customer? Is this just internal bureaucracy? Are we doing things twice or 3 times and not adding value to the customer? So that we have a real understanding of the efficiency with which services are delivered in terms of quality, the cost, and the delivery effectiveness of those services. And once you've learned about how the company operates, what are your next steps? Well, we move quickly into starting to redesign the work. The client company is interested in the solution rather than a long diagnosis. So, phase 1 is all about helping to understand what's going wrong. The real interest is in coming up with a better way of doing things, and this is all about applying creative techniques to improving the way that the work is delivered. And again, this is where the input from the customers is particularly important. It helps us to reshape the way that the services and products are defined and the way they're delivered. Well, very often say to our clients, there are things that you should stop doing because your customer does not value them at all, and it's the waste of people's time and money. Or there are things that you should do differently. So that's a starting point. We look at service features, we look at lead times. We use reduced lead times as a driver for efficiency in our organization. So, for example, a customer wants something within 1 day instead of the 4 days that is currently taking. We'll lay that down as a target and say our target is to design a process that allows us to deliver to customers within a day. How are we going to make that happen? So, our second step here is to identify the drivers of improved performance, which might be, as I said, lead time. It might be about driving costs down. It might be about driving quality up. And then we start to redesign the work at a detailed level to ensure that we can deliver improved performance. And that will include taking out unnecessary steps. It might include looking at a particular set of activities and saying, well, this is something you could outsource because another company can do this cheaper or better than you. We might look at the restructuring the company, at simplifying its structure so that instead of having a lot of small sites, we consolidate into a larger site to increase efficiency. We might look at the management infrastructure, the way that people are managed, the way that targets are set and performance indicators are used, to try and help managers get a better understanding of their performance and therefore to help them improve their performance. So, we look at a whole range of things within what we refer to as the management system. All of the activities and influences in a company that affect performance. And then during that process, we'll run a series of workshop and meetings with the client staff. And during that process, we start to see a new design evolving from all of those discussions and all of that analysis, until we gradually come up with a consensus around something that we think is going to be better. And at that stage, we start looking at the business case and building a strong financial case for making the changes that we're recommending.